The madness of March. That was a slobber knocker, to borrow a professional wrestling term. I think that was Jim Ross.
Nice.
Jim Ross, thank you. I'll take that. We had 16 days of rust. We tried everything that we could to prepare ourselves, and you can't prepare yourself for games, especially in the postseason, without playing. Kudos to our male practice players who tried as best they could, and our kids really gave great effort in that 16 days. But we knew that we were going to have this rust. It was just how quickly could we get through it. And I was hoping it would take a quarter, maybe 3 minutes. It took us about 35 minutes, and maybe 38. We defended very well, but anytime we could get a 2-point lead, they answered that. And the reason why is because Monmouth is a really well-coached team. And I have a lot of respect for Jenny, their head coach. I think they do a really nice job of identifying mismatches, and they're a good basketball team. They've won 13 straight on the road. So to get that win today against a very confident team feels really good. But we've won 14 out of 17, and we're pretty good too. I'm incredibly happy for Lauren Wasselson. First of all, Coach Vanessa to make those calls, take couillons, and then Lauren getting fouled on both of those and knocking those free throws down are just big plays. And we had many big plays from many people. But I do want to say that our administration, in particular our president Ken Gormley and Dan Gilman, I can't thank them enough for the pregame tailgate that they had and the support that they give women's basketball. We had a great crowd tonight. We certainly didn't give them much to cheer for early on, and it was a boring game, but man, those fans got behind us, and it was an electric atmosphere once we got into that fourth quarter. And we gave them something to cheer for, certainly in the last couple minutes.
Dan, Lauren, obviously, to literally talk about going from 0 to 100, obviously the story's been documented. Just this is what March is made of, Dan, I'm assuming. Just what are your thoughts, just for a kid that's really been through hell and back, to just have to continue playing at least for another couple days?
There's that. Our three guards that we were kind of counted on, Nay, Tess, and Lauren, were a combined 2 for 11. And it just came to be that Lauren hit one shot and she was defending pretty well, and we stayed with her. We liked the rhythm and we liked the lineup of how we were playing with her in the game as opposed to the other two in this game. And I'm incredibly happy for Lauren, because Lauren is one of the harder working players that we've ever had, and we've got really hard working kids. And she's got the short end of the stick here with multiple serious injuries in her time at Duquesne. And for her to be able to go out like this, it's a really nice thing to see. Lauren's going to go on and play professional basketball at some level after this, but like I said, when she chose to come to Duquesne after her transfer, I just said, I want you to always feel like this is home. Duquesne is your home, and I think that she certainly feels that. And doing something like what she did tonight certainly cements that, and kind of cements what her legend will be here. And 20 years from now, we'll talk about it. She actually got hit 6 times and made 12 free throws in a row. We'll make stories of it. So.
Aside from the 8 free throws and the 3-pointer, which were all huge in the moment, that last possession Monmouth had in regulation, you make the switch from Journey to Lauren on Hall, and you get that stop. What went behind that decision, and how important was it to try to switch things up and give them a different look?
Coach Bell did a great job of recognizing that. With Hall, she wants to bully you and back you down, and she's good at that. And Journey is really quick, but she's not a defender who's going to excel when she's being backed down. Whereas Lauren can actually play the 4 for us in certain situations, and has guarded in the post. And so it was just a very simple switch to go with a bigger defender, so that 20 would have to shoot over a taller defender, but also we weren't going to give as much ground with Lauren. If it would have been a situation where it would have been 1, we probably would have stayed with Journey on her, but we knew that was what 20 wanted to do, because that's what she did most of the game and had some success with it.
I asked the players the same question. It seemed like from the tip all the way through that 65th minute. The defensive intensity never waned. It was there the entire time, playing man-to-man, handling switches well, ball screens, everything. How important was it to emphasize some of those smaller things for that defensive matchup?
When you have as much rust as we had, I mean, we were off a significant amount of time. You try to rely on your defensive rebounding to overcome your shooting woes. I saw it in practice the last couple of days. I thought we were short on our shots, and I was concerned about that. And I also thought we had an advantage to be able to go inside. And from a defensive perspective, it comes down to the basic tenets of what your defense is, and that's perfect pack line and making sure that you can sit in gaps and not let them get a lot of drives, and we felt like we did that. We limited them, second chance points, they only had 4, so you have to feel really, really good about that. We didn't make, and you have to go back and watch the tape, but I don't feel like we made a lot of mistakes in terms of our coverages today, and that's communication, that's understanding the game plan. I'm in my mind right now, I've already moved on to Purdue because we have such a short turnaround time. So sorry about that. I kind of lost my train of thought as I'm starting to worry about that. I should enjoy this to midnight.
Dan, the insertion of Keandra in the second quarter, just to find some energy. That's obviously an energy player. Just what went in, was the decision simply to find energy and just find a punch, and just how did she come through with that?
Yeah, that's all it was. It was simply energy. She provides you energy, kinetic energy. You don't know what she's going to do. It could be taking a charge. It could be knocking somebody over. We had the situation where she kind of embellished a little bit on the post up, and they didn't call the foul on her man. They called another foul, but they had to go to the table and look at it. Now all of a sudden they're looking at that type of post play. She just creates energy, and she played quality minutes for us to help us win that basketball game. And she was, we talked about that in the locker room after the game, that her minutes were valuable. And that's something that has happened most of this year. Different people have stepped up in games. And Keandra's an example of that. We don't win the city game without the contributions that she gave us. And we can say that about a lot of our kids. We put in Gabby today, and it wasn't Gabby's day. But when we were at GW and when we were at Niagara, we had a freshman lead us to victory. So we feel really good about this team. I've said this, and I'll say it in public. In 27 years, this is my favorite team that I've coached. I have a lot of teams that are favorites, and I love them all. But this team is just really special. It's been a really enjoyable ride and journey this year.
Before the game, you were telling us about the importance of trying to win this game inside out, but never really made it out. It kind of just stayed inside. And in between, Precious and Yanni and Amaya and the guards and the dribble drive, it seems like you found something there. You just kept going to that well. How soon did you see that was working for you, or was that really the idea all along?
The idea all along was to go inside. And before the game began, I spoke with their head coach, and we talked a little bit, and she made mention of how good of three-point shooters we were. And I said, oh, okay. That'll be interesting to see how they guard us. They never really came with doubles. And they really said, okay, you're going to have to score a whole lot of points in the paint. It's almost like what St. Francis did to us a couple years ago when we had Judy Soleil, and Lia Soleil, and Lia went for 40 or 42 points that night. They were going to give us the points in the paint. And they did that today. I mean, we scored 44 in the paint, not all from our posts. Our posts gave us 18, 25 points, and we got a lot off drives. But we were 1 for 12 or 1 for 13 from the three-point line at one point. And I attribute that more to our legs and our rust more than anything. And so, why not continue to go into the paint? And then, Journey is a kid she's the jet. You can't stay in front of her. She's just so quick. You can have 2 steps and be 6'3", and she's able to turn the corner on you in small, tight distances. Just a really good day. All of you, nobody else has got a question. I'm not criticizing you, I'm just joking around with y'all. Thank you for supporting women's basketball. We had a great crowd tonight. Thank you for being here.